Inserting and updating records in Postgresql table with SQL queries.
Hello friends, welcome to another chapter related to PostgreSQL. In this chapter, we are discussing about how to insert data in a table in PostgreSQL and particularly using the insert query. So, insert query is very much useful. Insert query is used to insert data in any particular table. So, here is a simple version of the insert query. So you have to write insert because we want to add some data in our table. So you write insert into and then you write the table name. And after writing the table name, you open a round bracket and you close a round bracket. And within your opening and closing round brackets, you write the name of columns for which you want to insert some values. Suppose we want to insert it in user table, so it will be something like name, age, email and various details. So these number of columns can be any number of columns. So there can be any number of columns. That's why I have written 1, 2 up to n, and then you can insert values. Again, you have to remember the same way we wrote our columns. In the same manner, inside values in these parentheses, you write values. So value 1, value 2, value 3 up to value n. Now you will notice a simple thing that when we write column names and table name, we have not written any single quote here. So with column names, we don't write these single quotes, but with values, we have to write these single quotes. Again, if values is a string, we must use value with a single quote. In case of numeric value, we can write it directly. So while creating the columns, if columns are set as character varying, if columns are set as text, so basically if the columns will have a string data type, so in such cases you have to write single quotes with values. And if your column names are numeric, so you can write the values directly also. So now in this case, you can see we are inserting into table name, we are writing column names and then we will write value. So first we will see a simple example for this user table, which we are discussing in the last case, and we created a constraint user p key here. Now our query window is already open. So using the query editor, or you can right click here and you can open the query tool. First thing is we will select star from user. So this select star from user will give us all records from user. This is a very common SQL query, select star from table. But because our table is in public schema, so we have to write public.user. Remember, I will create a video which will explain you about a schema. You don't have to worry too much about a schema. You can think about a schema as a database itself. So we are just writing in which database our table is. So and in a database there can be any number of schemas. So they just help us in managing data more properly. So when you will select star from public user, you can see we have ID and name and we don't have anything here. So now we will insert these values. Remember, ID is primary key and it is auto increment. So ID is PK and it is auto increment. Because it is auto increment, so we don't have to enter it. And how we can say it is auto increment? If you will go to properties and constraint section, so you will see that it is identity always increment 1, minimum 1, maximum 100. So it is auto increment. So that's why while writing your query, you will write insert into and then you have to write that table name. The table name is public.user. Remember, in case of Postgre, when we are in any particular schema, so most of the time we have to write the name of that schema, then the name of table, and then here we have to write n number of columns. But if you will watch closely, the n number of columns is just one column and that is name, and then you will write values and you will open and close parentheses. Inside open and close parentheses you will write the name of user. Remember, we gave a maximum of 5 characters. So for user, you can see while creating the table, maximum of 5 characters were assigned. Let's say the name is John. Now write a semicolon after this, your query will be complete, and now execute. You can see query returned successfully, and now right click on this, view all rows, and you will see that one name John is now entered here. Let's try to enter another name. So we can go to our query tool, and in our query tool we will again write insert into public dot user, and in public dot user we have to insert name, because this is the column we want to insert, and then values. Let's say this time the values that we want to insert is Mike. Again you can see I am writing a single quote here. I am writing this single quote because this value is of character type, is of string data type, so we have to write this. Now I will copy this and execute this, and you will see it is inserted. Now just below this we can write select star from public and public dot user, and now I will select only this portion and execute it. So this will give me those values. The important thing is we are inserting only one value, that is Mike or John. We are inserting only names value, and you can see we are actually, this ID is actually being automatically generated here. So this is the purpose of primary key and automatically generated columns, that for every user, for every row in the record, you will get a unique identity value. It can be anything. We can start from 10 and we can have increment of any number, but again starting from 1 then increasing it by 1 every time is mostly done in whenever we deal with databases, whenever we create databases for organizations. So this is a simple insert. In this case we inserted only one column, one value at a time, and I will store this. So this is insert into. Now we have another table here, and that is our TBL rooms. Let's select some data from TBL rooms. So view all rows. You can see in TBL rooms we have 3 columns. One is the default column, which is the primary key. So let's write some query for this particular table. Right click, query tool. Here the number of columns are more, so you will write insert into, and then you will write public dot and tbl underscore rooms. This is the name of your table, and here you have to write the name of columns. Remember, with the name of columns I am not writing any single quote or double quote or anything like that. So room name, room price, and I can write room category. So it's not necessary to write any particular value here, because in these names we don't have spaces. So I will tell you about spaces also. For now you just have to remember, in insert into public.tbl rooms, insert into table, whatever your table name is, you will create opening and closing parentheses or brackets, and then inside those brackets you have to write the columns in particular order. This order can be anything. Here the order is name, price and category. You can reverse, or you can have any combination of this order, but the thing is you have to insert values also, and you have to insert values in the same order. That is a most important thing. So room name, let's say room name is ST101. Then let's say room price, let's say room price is 45. Okay, we have entered SD101. Let's say SD110. Let's say room price is 5600, and let's say room category is SD. So because we have 2 characters for this room category, if you will, I will show you that. So first I will cut this. So if you will go to the room categories definition, you will see the length and precision is 2. So that's why I am writing this 2 here. I am writing only 2 values here, 2 character value here. All of them are string, only this price is a numeric value. So I am writing price without single quotes. You can see if I will write these values with double quotes, then we will get error. You can see it becomes black because double quotes are used for column names and table names. So we cannot write double quote in values. There are 3 values, there are 3 columns, we are writing 3 values, and for every column we are writing a value. And let's insert this. So let's execute this, and you can see inserted. Just below this we can write select star from public.tbl underscore rooms to view the changes, also whether changes have been made or not. You can see now we have these values. So SD110 5600. So this is how we can insert data with the help of writing queries in any table. Now there is one more thing I want to share with you. Suppose you want to insert multiple values at the same time. So what you can do, you can copy this round bracket, because column names will be the same, right? So we are not repeating the column names here, but we are creating for values. We are writing these values in comma separated way. So first we have first tuple of values or first set of values, then we have second tuple of values, then we have third tuple of values. So we have these values. By tuple I mean in one particular collection there are 3 values that are comma separated, and they are written inside these round brackets. Now let's say this is SD111, room price is same, and let's say this is D211, and let's say its price is less and it is only D. So these are categories: super, deluxe, deluxe, it can be anything. So now we will try to insert these values. As you can see, SD110 was already inserted, so I will insert SD112 here, and now copy this, put semicolon, copy. This time 3, we are trying to insert 3 values at the same time. Query successfully returned. We now have to, or we can cut this and view data. So right click on table and view data. So you can see 3 values were inserted at the same time. So this is our query. I am writing it here: multiple values in one query. So this is insert multiple values in one query, and this is this, and this is example for inserting one value at a time. So go ahead, do some practice, create a database, create some tables. In those tables insert values like this. Again, this particular file in which I am saving all these codes, I will provide this file. You will find it at the starting of the course. So from this file I have mentioned these comments, and with the help of chapter description you can come to this comment and you can copy the code and you can try it also. So it's up to you. Thanks for watching this video. We will come with more things related to Postgresql in upcoming chapters of this series. Hello friends, welcome to another chapter related to PostgreSQL. In this part we are learning updating records in PostgreSQL table. So if you want to modify existing records in a table on the basis of certain conditions, we can use update query in PostgreSQL. Now let's see how we can apply this update query, and then I will provide you the code. So for example, we have TBL hotel here. Okay, let's see some data of this TBL hotel. So in TBL hotel we have these values, and let's say this phone number was entered but it was not considered correctly. Although there are 15 characters, and let's say for some reason this phone number was not inserted correctly, or we have to change the phone number, we have to change some details of this particular table. Now if you will look closely, there is a column called ID. This ID is the unique identity of this row. So for every row, if you will have unique identity, this will help you. Sorry about the noise. So if there is a unique identity in every table, so if that particular unique identity helps us in selecting records of that particular table, and then on the basis of those records we can update them. So the task is we want to update phone number here for this hotel which has an ID of 1. So we can write these things, and these things will help us in creating our query. So what is our task? Our task is we want to update phone number. So we can write update phone from our table is TBL rooms, and update phone from or on TBL rooms, and where ID is 1. So this is a general version of the query. This is not the correct query. So now let's write the query on the basis of this. So we will create SQL here. So query 2. First we will select record. So select star from TBL underscore hotel semicolon. Select this. Execute this. Okay, hotel, and it's inside public schema, so we have to write public dot. In various versions of SQL you don't have to provide a schema name, so in this case you have to. Now we have selected this. So now when you have to update query, you have to write update. You have to first write update. When you have to view the records, you write select. When you have to update query, you write update. Again, you can write it in capital or a small version. It is not case sensitive, so it's up to you in what case you want to write it. First you have to write update table. So the name of table is public underscore TBL hotel. So this simple is update table. And then what you want to do, we want to change the phone number. So write set phone. Whatever you want to change, write set phone is equal to, and whatever new value you want to give. Suppose we want to give a new value of plus 91123. So plus 91123 again, because this value is of character data type, so we have to use single quote here. Suppose we were changing pin code. I will also show you how we can change the pin code. Suppose we were let's change pin code in this case also. So set phone is equal to this, write a comma, because we want to update a second column also, and then write pin code is equal to, and whatever, let's say it is 220011. Okay, so suppose we want to set the phone to this and set the pin code to this, and the last thing is where. With the help of where clause, we can provide where we want to make these changes, and we want to make these changes where ID is 1. So this simply means the record which has an ID of 1, in that record set phone to this new value, set pin code to this new value. But because the pin code is an integer, we are not writing it like this. There's no need to write it like this. It's simply a number. We can change number directly. But if it is a string, in a string there can be spaces and there can be various special characters, so we have to enclose a string between these inverted commas, single inverted commas. Another thing is we cannot write double inverted commas in SQL with values. We can use double inverted commas with column names like this. We can use double inverted commas here. This will work. So now let's run this query and see whether it's correct or not. So you can see update 1 query returned successfully, and now let's select records once again, and now you will see that it is changed to 220011 plus 911234. So think about double quotes and single quotes. With column names, we can use double quotes. With values, if they are of string data type, we can use single quotes. Okay, so with this value was of a string data type, so we have to use single quote. With values of numeric data types, there are various numeric data types like integer, float, decimal, numeric. So with values of numeric data types, there is no need to write single quotes. There is no need. You have to focus on. There is no need to write single quotes. You will, after doing some practice, you will understand this. Look here. The value of ID was 1. So we did not write single quote here. But suppose where we had to update this where name is equal to ABC Hotel. So in that case, you would have to write this. Now this is our simple update query, and I will write this update query, and I will again explain this query to you. So this is not update query. So update query, update table. I will write a simplified version of this. Update TBL name, whatever the name of your table is. Update table name, set column 1 is equal to value 1, column 1 is equal to value 1, comma. Suppose you have another column 2 is equal to value 2. Suppose you have another column n is equal to value n. So there can be any number of columns. So update table, set column 1 is equal to value 1, column 2 is equal to value 2, column n is equal to value n, and then you have to write where id is equal to something, let's say 1. Again, for this purpose we use primary key, and we make the primary key auto increment unique and not null. Because if primary key is unique and it is not null, then only we'll be able to modify the correct record. Now on the basis of this, let's select some records from room table. So now we have selected some records from room table. Here you can see, let's say for ID number 4, we have price of 5600. Suppose we want to make the price as 5680. We want to change the price for this. So one way is just double click here and make the price 580. This is how you can update it. You can hit enter, and then you can click on this and this will be updated. You can see. But because we don't want to do this, this is another way of updating, but this is just updating records with the help of this table here, table designer, or you can say table editor here. We want to do it with the help of our query tool. We want to write queries, we want to learn queries. First thing is, it's always better to select some records. Select star from public dot and whatever the name of your table is, tbl. Again, with schema name and table name, we are not writing in capital form. We are not writing these in capital case or uppercase. But select whatever elements of SQL are there. They are case insensitive, so you don't have to write that. Now select star from public.tbl rooms. First we will execute this so that we have the table. So now you can see we have this table, and here we have to change the price of this 4 here. So it is changed as 5680. Let's say we have to make it 6680. So what you will write, update, and then you will write the name of your table. So update public dot TBL rooms, TBL underscore room, because we have to update this. Then in the next line, this code can be written in one line, but by writing it in various lines, we can easily understand what we are doing in every line. So in the first line, you write update table, whatever table you have to update. In the second line, you have to set what you want to set. We want to set room price. Again, because it's a column name, so we can put double quotes here. There is no need to put double quotes here, but there is a benefit of putting double quote, which I will explain later. Set room price is equal to, and what you want to set a new value for room price. Let's say the new room price is 6680, and so this first line we write update table, then we set column 1 is equal to value 1. If there are more columns, let's say we want to change the room category also, so you can select room underscore category is equal to something. It's SD, let's make it DS. Whatever you want to change it, suppose you want to change it, so you can put it like this. If you want to update only one column, you can write like this, where, so we can write where. So there are three stages: update table, set column 1, column 2, and whatever, and then third stage is where. In where you just have to write the primary key. Here primary key is not ID, it is room ID, and where room ID is equal to 4. So for every room we have a unique identity, and because for every room we have a unique identity, so it becomes really easy to update the records. It becomes really easy to delete the records, modify the records, view the records for one particular row. So now where room ID is equal to 4, in this where clause we can write various type of things. Let's say where room ID is greater than 4, less than 4, we can do various such things. So we will have a separate chapter for where clause operators. Where clause operators are wide, there are many where clause operators, so we will have a separate chapter for that. For now we are only considering this equal to operator, which is comparison operator. This what it is doing, it is comparing two values, comparing values whether they are equal, and if they are equal it will update the records there. So now we have to update it, so we will select only the update part, execute it. You can see without error query is executed, then select the part again, and now let's check. You can see for column number 4 we have value updated as 6680.00. Why 0.00? Because while creating it we created a decimal column and we made it 10,2. We can either create decimal or numeric. They are both alias of each other. They are both synonyms of each other. So numeric and decimal you can use for price. Numeric, you can either write numeric 10,2 or you can write decimal 10,2. They are synonyms of each other. So this is how we can update records. Again, I will share this code also. Update example 2. Again, more examples will come in which we will have more complex queries, because we are starting things, so we are only considering and we are doing only the basic part. Thanks for watching this. More related to PostgreSQL will be discussed in upcoming chapters.
Visit coursetraining.in to learn data science from experts.